Hey YouTube, Steve JMO. It's 31st of August 2017. One day away from September, but it's still August and it's still let me see, still 72 degrees out, so I don't know if that's normal for this time of year. I used to have almanacs and shit like that when I was a kid, and it was nothing like 70 for the end of August, early September. And I can remember just being in high school just like 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, it'd be September, and we're dying in math class because there's no AC, or we're dying in gym class because it's brutal outside. Like now it'd be comfortable, but no one really seems to understand that. And this pretty much puts an end to the whole global warming thing. But if you say that to someone official, they're just going to be like, oh, well, remember Harvard? Because Harvard came out a couple months ago and said they publicly came out and said we're going to start geoengineering the skies because of global warming. So let's say someone did say something about this who has decent amount of power. I guarantee the counter to that would just be, oh, see, well, looks like Harvard's doing a good job up there. It's not global warming anymore. Now we stabilized it. No, that's not what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Ever since the eclipse, it's like they swapped out the sun or some crap. I know that sounds batshit crazy, but hey, if you look into the solar simulators that are patented since the late 60s by NASA, you never know. And plus, you had NASA jets following the eclipse. They're releasing chemicals along the exact path of the eclipse. Not chemicals, I'm sorry, bacteria. I don't know. It's just too fishy. I can't, not stop just trying to figure out what exactly is going on. And the conclusion, not the final conclusion, but one of the conclusions I'm at right now is they swapped out the sun, or they I don't know, did something to the sun. Because, okay, this is going to sound ridiculously crazy, I know. The day before I found out about the solar eclipse, the day before, probably sometime in June or May, which is crazy because it should have been national news January 1st, oh, everyone, new year 2017, look what's coming ahead, solar eclipse, blah blah blah. Didn't hear nothing about that. But the day before I found out about it, I had a intense dream. I have wild intense dreams all the time, but this one had to do with the sun. I don't even know where I was somewhere with elevation, driving down a hill, and me and my buddy in my dream both look up at the sun, and a black it didn't black out the whole sun. It was just a black dot in the middle of the sun. I was like, what the heck is that? And then it just started eating the sun. It was some sort of matter devouring, sucking type deal. It was wildly intense, and we were left with 70-60% of the sun. And it was visual. Maybe they did the same thing, but maybe they just did it without it being visual. They blocked out the sun for a minute, and they just triggered something, or I don't know. Because the next day I found out about that. After that, the next day, I go on YouTube and there are these black hole sun videos just recommended for me, and then I find out about a great American solar eclipse. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know. And I've literally got messages on Facebook Messenger to validate that it was that. Well, obviously it's not going to validate, but to put more in my favor that I literally had a dream the day before this happened. It's crazy. And then then Chris Cornell died right along that time, and everything just kind of just fell into place for me. It was crazy. I don't know. I just know it shouldn't be 70 degrees in August. And I know that another thing I know is that hurricanes don't stall. I've watched the weather with a good eye ever since I was like in third grade. Man, I wish I still had notebooks from then. Every day I would go outside and just give my own analysis on the weather. Or if there's a tropical storm coming in, I would make my own map, track it, and usually be pretty close to what the actual radar would show. And then out of nowhere you get this storm that just stalls, goes back in the Gulf, gathers more like moisture, and just stalls. And then just coincidentally, like a state over, you got NASA doing something for the rocket research, and it's just pumping water vapor into the atmosphere like clouds. Like you would have thought it was like a nuclear power plant, but it's just a machine the size of maybe a story and a half building, just pumping out, and no one seems to put that together. And plus, I saw the radar for Hurricane Harvey a little while ago, like when it first was approaching the coast. And you can just clearly see just straight line clouds, and no one, well, people caught onto it, but no one's putting the dots together like this. And if you ask yourself why would they do this to Texas? Well, Texas has a good amount of gold. They have abundance of resources. They have pretty much a good amount of I was gonna say all, but they have a good amount of the American oil. And there's the most patriots in that state, and the most registered guns are in that state. So why not take them out? That pretty much ends any possibility of the patriots uprising, because that pretty much would have been like Battlefront. That would have been like where they all what they would have claimed as their territory. And plus, Texas threatened to secede from the Union multiple times. So this is probably just like a message. Like, don't do that anymore. It's just like California with the chemtrailing. Like, they legalize, they decriminalize marijuana, and they legalize medical marijuana. That was decades ago. And look at the state now. It's burning down because of drought. And I'm starting to notice the same thing going on here in Massachusetts. Because they spray so bad, so much, so hard that it kills the plants. And I could literally just throw a match in the middle of the woods and it's gonna light on fire. Not in Massachusetts right now, it's not that bad, but in California, if I went in like a state park or anywhere, lit a match and just tossed it, half the state's gonna burn down again. No one seems to put those dots together either, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just an asshole. Maybe I'm not. I couldn't tell you. What the fuck is this guy doing? Sorry about that. 18-wheeler trying to kill me, but it is what it is, All we can do at this point is just pray for the people in Houston. Pray for forgiveness. Whatever they did on the 21st, pray that was a natural event and not something, because they were chemtrailing the sky like it is their job, like it was really their job that day. Because I got pictures and videos where you can't even barely see the eclipse because it's just too cloudy. So they didn't want us to see it, but I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. I gotta get out of here. See you later.